Hello and welcome to day 2 of the 5-day pelvic floor challenge. I am so happy that you're here and I hope that you enjoyed yesterday's challenge where we talked a little bit about the pelvic floor, what it does for us, and also how to breathe using our diaphragm and how breathing using our diaphragm helps our pelvic floor drop down and move and relax as we inhale and sort of come back up as we exhale. And I hope that you had a chance to try out those 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths every hour and checking in on your body, unclenching all the parts that might be holding tension when they really don't need to be, like our bellies or our pelvic floor and things like that. Today we're going to build on that and learn more about how our breath plays such an important role in the function of our pelvic floor and how our deepest, innermost core can be activated simply by using our breath. Now, we're going to talk about something that is called the core breath. Now, this is a concept that using our inhale, using our diaphragm when we breathe, and allowing our pelvic floor to lower can allow us to use a really powerful exhale in order to feel our pelvic floor lift up and our deepest abdominal layer turn on. Now, you might be like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. It's okay. I'm going to break it down. Let's first meet our inner core unit. So our inner core unit is pretty much the inside support system that we all have. It's made up of 4 main parts. It's made up of our diaphragm at the top, right? We talked about our diaphragm, which sits under our rib cage. It has our pelvic floor on the bottom. We talked about this last time on day 1, where they both work really well together and they're best buddies. And then there is this middle section that is known as the transversus abdominis, and that is our deepest abdominal muscle. And what that muscle does is it helps to keep everything stable and supported inside. And then at the back, we have these tiny little stabilizers of our spine, and those muscles are called the multifidus. Now, we're not going to talk much more about those spinal stabilizers, but the other 3, we're going to talk a lot more about them. So our diaphragm at the top, our pelvic floor at the bottom, and our transversus abdominis wrapping all around the sides there. So that inner core unit, or that system that is inside all of us, it is governed by our breath, and it helps to provide us with so much core strength and stability as we move about our day and as we exercise. So, the way that we can find our core breath and use this strategy day to day is like this. Firstly, we have to start inhaling the same way we inhaled yesterday when we were working on our diaphragmatic breathing. Let's inhale together through our nose, feeling our rib cage open up, our belly fill with air, and our pelvic floor lower down. Just try that again. Inhaling, ribs open, belly fills, pelvic floor lowers. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pay a little bit of attention to what happens in our body when we exhale or let the air out. Let's exhale through an open mouth. So we're going to exhale either by making an O shape with our mouth like this, or by gently having our teeth just barely touching and allowing us to make a sound as we exhale the air out. Let's try that together. Inhaling through our nose, feeling our ribcage open, feeling our belly fill, and feeling our pelvic floor let go and relax. And as we exhale, let's do that with our mouth. You might find that you felt something going on over here when you exhaled a little bit more forcefully through your mouth. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to in your body. As you exhale, I want you to feel for a gentle lift of your pelvic floor, followed by tightening or flattening of your deepest abdominal layer, that transversus abdominis. When we exhale forcefully the way that we just did, we kind of activate or turn on that innermost abdominal muscle layer. And when that muscle is activated, it sort of behaves like a corset. It gives our midsection the chance to be a little bit smaller or tighter. However, this happens without any kind of movement in our torso. So we shouldn't be seeing any kind of crunching, doing like a little sit-up, or twisting or bending to the sides. We should literally just be still and see our belly get big as we inhale and small as we exhale. See what I mean? I want you to try that on your own. And if this is the first time that you're trying this, it might feel a little bit clumsy, and that's okay. This is something that takes practice. This is actually a core strengthening exercise. You can do it as it is, or you can do it along with other exercises. For example, when you're doing a squat, when you're doing lunges, when you're doing bridges, when you're doing a bicep curl, you can use this breathing strategy during the hardest part of any exercise to turn your core on, to stabilize your body a little bit more, and to give your inner core unit a little bit of a workout too. Now, what we do want to keep in mind is that we want to start that exhale breath with a gentle lift of our pelvic floor. Our pelvic floor muscles and that deepest abdominal layer, they're also best buddies, just like our pelvic floor and our diaphragm. In fact, the pelvic floor muscles and the transversus abdominis, they turn on together. But we do want the pelvic floor muscles to be the first to turn on. So I want you to imagine that you are gently lifting your pelvic floor deeper into your body as you exhale, okay? We can imagine that we have a blueberry at the entrance of our vagina. And as we exhale, we're gently pulling that blueberry into our body. We're gently lifting and squeezing it into our body. Or you can imagine that there is a straw at the opening of your vagina and you're sipping up a smoothie through that straw, lifting it into your body. If you're getting the picture here, we're trying to lift something up and into our bodies. We're not just squeezing down there. You see, our pelvic floor muscles, they perform a lift and a squeeze action. They're not just squeezing. So by thinking of it this way, thinking of lifting a blueberry into your body or slurping up a straw, that gives us that lift action that sometimes is missing when we do our kegels on our own. So to put it all together, we're essentially using our breath to do a kegel. If anyone's ever heard of or tried a kegel is simply a pelvic floor muscle contraction. And we just learned that our pelvic floor muscles contract to perform a lift and a squeeze action. So we're inhaling to let everything go, and then we're exhaling to lift the pelvic floor and then feel those deepest ab muscles turn on. Then we're inhaling to fill with air and let everything go, and we're exhaling to lift the pelvic floor up and feel that transversus abdominis turn on and make our belly a little bit flatter or smaller. Now this is really neat to see on your own body, so I recommend that you give this a shot standing in front of a mirror. So your challenge for today is to try this core breath strategy 2 times. I want you to try 5 to 10 breaths at your own pace 2 times. Choose different positions. Do it sitting like I am, sit in a chair, stand up and do it, or get on all fours and try this out. We're gonna feel that. Inhale, ribs open, belly fills, pelvic floor drops. Exhale, pelvic floor lifts, deep abs turn on, and the breath gets pushed out. You're doing great. Make sure to subscribe and join me tomorrow for day 3.